Trump's decision to pause the import tariffs announced only a few days ago has been met with much relief in Europe. But the escalating Washington-Beijing trade war may also have far-reaching consequences for the EU. Meanwhile, Kyiv seeks to stay on its pro-European path as it is about to enter rare earth minerals negotiations with the US. And to discuss it all, we're joined by Wojciech Przybylski, editor-in-chief of Visegrad Insight and president of the Respublika Foundation. Good evening.
Good evening.
So, Polish finance minister says the EU should not introduce any retaliatory measures against the US. This time, of course, after the announcement from we've heard from Washington. Now, our goal should not be escalation, but finding solutions that will be the best for the economy. That says Minister Andrzej Domański. Do you agree with him?
Yes, I agree. That seems to be a reasonable approach.
And so, what do you think Poland should do? What the EU should do if Donald Trump changes his mind tomorrow?
Well, then he'll change it that day after tomorrow. I mean, we are dealing with more of a chaotic hypocrisy in terms of his style of leadership. So we don't know what sort of decisions are consulted within his team. We've seen and heard his U.S. trade representative, Ambassador Green, in the Congress not being able to coherently respond to the questions from Congress representatives who were asking, what does he know about the strategy and negotiations? And it seemed like nobody knows that much in the team of Donald Trump. So what countries like Poland have to do is to analyze the long-term interest of the US overall and not take it at the face value of one particular leader, which is, of course, very important, an elected official, the seating president in the White House. But see the long-term strategy of the US, which overall has been very alike over several terms since Mr. Obama came into the White House and over then to Donald Trump and Mr. Biden and now back to Donald Trump. The policy is, as we have written in the Visegrad Insight editorial recently, is to back economic partnerships with force and to change the or reshape from globalism without limits to matching the economic trade alliances with security alliances. And this realignment has been ongoing and now just has been shifted to a higher gear.
So Donald Trump is predictable after all.
American foreign policy is predictable overall. Mr. Donald Trump doesn't seem to be very predictable, but he doesn't have as many moves as he probably would believe he could take. And the overall objective of the U.S. foreign policy has not altered so significantly, even under his term. It only, as I said, was shifted to a higher gear. Some say that we should still wait for a year or year and a half to evaluate the effects of this. But we also have to take into account that some of the sanction policy on China, limiting the space of trade with those who are essentially positioning themselves as rivals, if not enemies, of the West, is going to take effect from Biden administration already. Also, after Mr. Biden left the administration, such as the smart sanctions on high-tech production in China and retaliations that China has already signaled before Mr. Trump came to office on the U.S. With the limitations of the rare mineral exports. So this is an ongoing.
Which I'm really glad you've just mentioned. So tomorrow, the US and Ukraine will begin the negotiations on the so-called rare earth minerals deal. And Kyiv says that it will only sign it if it adheres to Ukraine's constitution and does not affect Ukraine's European integration. Do you expect some turbulence on the way, or rather they will sign it swiftly?
I think Ukraine is going to stay true to this course. I've been in Kiev on the 24th of February this year, hearing exactly that from the officials, whose strategy overall is to have a deal, to have agreement with Mr. Trump, in order also to give him more ammunition to persuade Congress, to persuade the American people that there is something to win for them and for their prosperity in Ukraine, so that they are committed to the support of Ukraine overall in the long term. But the strategic objective of Ukraine is to anchor itself not just in the EU, but in all the institutions of international economy and finance that require that this deal does not step over these boundaries and the rules of free trade.
Mm-hmm. I see. Now, today, the office of Ukraine's president stated that there can be no discussion regarding the size of Kiev's army. Now, officially, we've heard that American and Russian delegations met in Istanbul today to discuss slightly different affairs. But why do you think this statement appears today?
The statement
on the size of the Ukrainian army?
Well, if there were any speculations, if there were even public communication, as we know, Russia is having an ongoing strategic communication to undermine Ukrainian position, to put it in the in the public of the Western democracies. Within such conspiracy theories sometimes of what could be the outcome of such negotiations or talks, that Ukraine has to react, has to be proactive actually. It doesn't have to react only, but it has to be proactive and demonstrate its assertive position. It's crystal clear it's not just in the interest of Ukraine. It is in our clear interest in Europe overall to have Ukraine army strong, resilient, and well equipped with the support of the West to stand off, to stand ground onto this standoff with Russia.
And lastly, briefly, how close is Donald Trump to imposing new tariffs on Russia?
Well, I don't know, but a very interesting thing has happened since he imposed tariffs, and this is not the effect of tariffs alone. The prices of oil have dropped significantly, and they are continuing to drop also because of the cartel decision, OPEC decision, to release more oil to the markets, which hits Russia considerably, and it is much more painful than any tariffs or sanctions, because Russia doesn't trade with US that much in order to feel any effect of that kind of sanctions. I'm not saying Donald Trump making is here, that his finger is on it, but the objective overall, as we would imagine, is to limit Russia's ability to wage the war, and it's happening right now.
Wojciech Przybylski, editor-in-chief of Visegrad Insight and president of the Res Publica Foundation, was our guest this evening. Thank you very much. And thank you for watching, and stay with us for much more here on TVP World.